It is said that women hold up half the sky, but too often many of us may not realize by just how much. We are witnessing the historical moments that women are making a significant difference in the world. But how are they doing it? Welcome to the Resilience 30 Women Awards 2022 by Hapa and Shanghai Media on Hapa TV. I'm Jennifer Ong. My guest today is a very special lady who for the past 15 years has brought the enchanting experiences and beauty secrets of Morocco to Malaysia. She's the founder of Hammam and also the co-founder of the Wellness Media Mind that connects and empowers the community through wellness events and experiences. And she also holds the position of Vice President of MSPA. Now, I've known her for more than 5 years, and I've always felt there was something about this amazing woman. Let's welcome Kam Sue Ann, founder of Hammam Spa.
Well, thank you, Jen.
Hi, Sue Ann.
Having me
Really
on
nice to
board.
have you. It's like we've been trying to invite her for so many times, and this is the first time that we managed to catch her, so we're very, very honored to have
I'm
you.
grateful for this opportunity.
Yes, so tell us, how has it been, right after the reopening of the borders? I know the spa industry is the last industry for it to open. So how has it been for you?
Well, okay, so since the reopening of the spas, I've been more busy than ever trying to rebuild the business. I think, this pandemic has really crippled us. We were left with no cash reserves. The spa industry, 60% of the spa industry, 60% of the 2 years anyway, we were closed, right? And I think that in itself,
In a nutshell, is
is the challenge, right?
Wow. So how many months all in were you closed for?
Yeah, so I think in total 60% of the entire 2 years we actually calculated.
Right.
And right now, the statistic is that only about 40% of pre-pandemic outlets are still alive.
Right.
So
right.
Hammam is glad to be still standing
Right.
now.
Do you have a number, like how many percent of the spa industry or spa operators in Malaysia have closed?
Yeah, so 60%
60% have closed. Yeah. Wow, that leaves 40%.
Yeah.
So it's rebuilding time now for all of you in the spa industry.
Rebuilding. I just bring it down to a very basic level of operations, like my laundry supplier closed down, my baklava supplier closed down. So when I start, it's a startup all over again. I have to find suppliers again for businesses that have closed down, right? Rebuild cash reserves. 80% of my staff left me, including those that I founded the company with. There was a change in mindset. And then just non-stop rehiring and training people.
Right. So in the 2 years, Sue Ann, have you ever felt of giving up? Did you ever feel like, oh, I'm done with this, Did that ever occur to you? How was it like when you first closed? Like, what happened? We all want to know, right? 18 March 2020, right? When there was a lockdown. What happened to everybody? What happened to business entrepreneurs? So
giving up was never entered my mind. However, I mean, in the first lockdown, I had it good for many years. So I never thought that business have ups and downs. That was something I learned during the pandemic. And so when we first went into lockdown, and I was actually in the midst of creating my most luxe spa in Isetan of Japan, and that's very cash intensive.
Right.
So that was a moment of shock for me. Never once had I experienced zero income in my life, right? And to be very honest, the first month, I resorted to escapism. So it became like, I was on Xanax pills, drank up my mom's wine inventory.
Wow.
But then I think one fine day as I was lying in bed, I realized that had to stop, right? There was no running away from this crisis. And of course, thankfully, I had very supportive friends to actually help guide me as well on the business options I did have.
Right.
If I would just rise up from the bed.
Right.
Right.
And Hammam
Yeah.
Spa has been around for 15 years,
Yes.
right? Well, I mean, can you imagine having a business for 15 years and, after 15 good years, like what Suen is saying, that she has such good time, and suddenly you come to a point where you wake up in the morning and you have a zero income, right? And close for 60% of the time. I think that's very unprecedented and definitely very tough for business
Yeah.
owners. So can you tell us, how was it like for you, and what did you do to get yourself out of it? I mean, we're talking about resilience here anyway, right?
Yes,
There's
yes.
Resilience Awards. So tell us, how did you weather the storm? How did you overcome your adversities?
Yeah. So actually, I personally, pre-COVID, was very used to having a predictable, predictable life, even
Right.
right, predictable business vision,
Right.
and so forth, right? And then I think, the whole thing to rise up from the bed and to actually face what was happening. I think the first thing I did was I had to walk the talk. Right, I'm in this whole wellness media, and I actually do know all the modalities for holistic lifestyle. And I realized that the first thing to do was to be fit and healthy.
Right.
Right. So the first thing I did was, to sleep enough, look at my nutrition, exercise, and that's just to put me in a physical state to be able to get through with it. And then next was to rely on the supportive context of like friends and family that are actually there for me.
Right.
Right. And although everyone was going through their own personal struggles, right? But actually they're still there for me. Right. And
but how many months did it take you before you actually sort of started to bounce back and started to rise up, like you say? How long did it take you?
So I actually had 1 month of serious disconnection. I have to say, disconnection.
Someone being in the spa industry, right? Being disconnected is unheard of, right?
Yeah, unheard of. I was surprised myself. I actually decided to disconnect fully. And
sort of like a zone out thing.
Yeah, I was just lying in bed taking my anxiety pills and for a whole month. Right. And then I think it hit me when a friend called me and said, like, you're no longer yourself. Let's talk about it. Right. And then I thought, okay, yes. And on top of that, I have 30 employees who all want an answer. Right. And there were so many uncertainties. And I had the whole association members as well as the board to be accountable for. So we had to stop the drinking. We had to throw the Xanax pills. And then just from that moment, I think it was 1 month into it.
Right.
And then I realized,
so the wake-up call was from your friend who called you and said that, look, you need help. So talk about it and sort of...
and it didn't occur to me to burden anyone with my struggles, because I knew everyone else, including my father, who's got 100 over employees, everyone had their own struggles. I didn't want to burden them. But then the moment I actually shared what I was going through, and the moment I realized, actually, everyone's going through that, but there are options.
Right.
There are business options.
Right.
So I think from the moment in the bed, then I had my own health playbook to just, throw the pills, get fit and healthy. Right. And then looking at my network of support, I really needed to count on a few solid people to get me through that, as well as certain business people, like, in case I needed financing and so forth. And then to just really look at my own mindset, reframing my mindset. I think I've always been a very positive, I always had a positive mindset. My dad taught me a very important lesson from young, which is you wake up in the morning and you just ask yourself, do you want it to be a happy day or a sad day? Right. So it keeps it very simple.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very nice. I love that. So, you wake up in the morning and you make a choice. Do you want your day to be a happy day or a sad day? Right. Yeah. Now, just last question. So that we talk about, resilience. We're here, basically awarding women and recognizing women who has resilience. What's your one takeaway for learnings, one of your key learnings that you can share with the audience about resilience?
Okay, so I think resilience is very much the ability to cope with changes and challenges, right? And how we can actually recover from such traumatic experiences. I think my key thing was very much about self-awareness. So if I was able to be aware of my own state of being and my own feelings and thoughts that were limiting me from being resilient during a crisis, then I can actually let go of those and things will flow naturally. But it's always our own personal limiting beliefs and feelings that actually impede us from seeing all the other things that life is working for us in some way.
Nice,
You know?
nice. I love it. I love the sharing. I love your piece of advice, and about limiting beliefs. I think that's one of the biggest hurdle in anyone's life. Particularly women's life, where you want to do something and you have so much limitations within. Yeah. So thank you, Sue-Ann. Thank you so much for sharing your story.
Thank you.
Very inspiring indeed. I hope Sue-Ann's message will give you some hope in moving forward in life. So stay strong, ladies. Have more awareness and take on the world with lots of confidence. Follow us on Hapa TV Facebook for more empowering stories from some of the most amazing women in Malaysia. See you then. Thank you.